one cries, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know, we gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. Cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, the time when night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know, we gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make up no mountain. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one rice, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, the time when night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain. We ain't giving up. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one karage, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one karage, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people. Struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one karage, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, cause we ain't giving up no mountain. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one karage, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, the time when night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain. We ain't giving up. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one karage, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one karage, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people. Struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, 'cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, the time when though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it, we have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, 'cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, the time when though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it, we have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people, struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know, we gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, the time when I eat. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it, we have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. We are a peaceful people. Struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one caress, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow.
Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Please be seated. We shall resume as Committee of Supply. Just some housekeeping. We're going to resume at 5:28. We had saved 18 minutes on the last head, which I shall apply to this one. I now call on the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Honorable Minister and his team is in place. Honorable members, please let us turn to pages 108 and 109. I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Program 121, Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 121, Development of Foreign Policy, current expenditure forms part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Ms. Amanza Desir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I wanted to draw attention to line item 6284, Other. There is an allocation there of about 400 million. I'd be grateful if the Honorable Minister could provide a breakdown of that sum.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Member, payment of legal fees, 330 million. Other consultancy services, border controversies, and public relation, 40 million.
I'm having a difficulty hearing.
Bank charges and remittances to the overseas missions, 20 million. License and other fees, 10 million. Grand total, 400 million.
Honorable Member, Ms. Walton
Mr.
Desir.
Speaker, I'm afraid I'll have to ask the Honorable Minister to repeat. We can only account for about 13 million of the 400.
Payment of legal fees, 330 million. Other consultancy services, which would include border controversy and public relation, 40 million. Bank charges and remittances to the overseas missions, 20 million. License and other fees, 10 million.
Thank you,
Grand
Honorable
total,
Minister.
400.
Honorable Member.
Yes, sir. Follow on that item. I heard the Honorable Minister reference public relation expenditure. I was wondering whether he would be so kind as to provide some detail on that particular expenditure.
Honorable
Public
Minister.
relations, Mr. Speaker, public relations. I think it's quite explicit. Public relations. What does it mean? Is it the first time you've heard of that term?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, if I may, I don't know if it is a case where Mr. Todd does not have an answer and he believes that engaging in red herrings would suffice. My question, sir, is very simple. He said that these are public relation expenses. I have asked if he could provide an insight as to what it entails. For example, if he needs assistance, I will say that when he and I met, and in his budget speech, he had said that.
Honorable Minister.
No, Mr. Chair,
Mr.
Chair,
Speaker.
if I may finish, because clearly I will have to give him details so that I can get the answer that I need. I am curious as to whether this public relations entails the education drive, etc., that he indicated in his budget speech would be forthcoming in terms of the border controversy. That is what I was trying to get to, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Minister and honorable members, those who want to shout, I will caution you again. Honorable Member, Mr. Maipol, you want a question? Just press your microphone so I can recognize you.
Mr. Speaker, just for clarity, to respond to the honorable member, what she was referring to with regards to my budget presentation would go to line item 6224 on the print and non-print materials. That is catered for what she was referring to. But what was contained in what I just previously discussed was dealing with our legal fees as well for the attorneys.
Honorable Member,
Thank you,
Ms.
Mr.
Walton
Speaker.
Desir.
I thank the Minister for that clarification. I wanted to turn our attention to 6294, and we look at the subsidies and contributions to international organizations. Now, when
66294, and also you're dealing with 6321.
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake. 6322. There is, when you look at the allocation, sir, you will see that there is 666 million thereabouts allocated, and of that, CARICOM, there's a sum of approximately 319 million allocated to CARICOM, which is, I would say, about 48% of the total allocation. I wondered whether the Honorable Minister could clarify whether this sum is Guyana's contribution to CARICOM, as it were, or are there other, head items under that allocation?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, to respond to the honorable member, that is the total sum allocated to CARICOM from Guyana.
Honorable Member, Ms. Walton Desir.
Yes, sir. I thank you. given that, I was just curious, sir. Given that we're on the same line item. Given that this is approximately 48% of the total um, amount under this item, I wonder whether the honorable minister could indicate to us whether he believes that a value for money assessment in this regard is maybe important or even necessary, so that we are sure that Guyanese taxpayers are getting value for this amount of money that they are expecting.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the answer is yes.
Honorable Member Ms. Walton Desir.
Thank you for that. We are ad item on that matter. We want to move to line item 6111. Administrative. In fact, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, let me take us to 6116, where we deal with the contracted employees. We note that there is an increase of about 4 to the complement. Could the Honorable Minister indicate the positions that have been added that would occasion the increase?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in responding to the honorable member, we have an advisor to the minister, we have a foreign secretary, a personal assistant to the minister, a personal assistant to the foreign secretary.
Mr. Chair, through you, I wonder whether the Honorable Minister could provide us with the details in terms of the emoluments, the persons who are in the position, their emoluments.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, for the advisor to the minister, 927,922. Foreign secretary, 700,000 even. Personal assistant to the minister, 300,000 even. And the personal assistant to the foreign secretary, 150,000.
Honorable Member Ms. Walton Desir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There is one metric that he has not met. I had asked for the names of the individuals who are filling these positions.
I didn't get that.
Sorry, sir?
I didn't get that. Could you
No, I
repeat?
was saying I had asked whether he would be so kind as to provide us with the names of the persons.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, I just want to be clear that I am asking to find out who is advising our Minister of Foreign Affairs. If it's not allowed, then I'll be guided by you, but I believe that this person holds office and the Guyanese people should know who is advising their foreign minister.
We do have a convention here. We don't provide names. We provide positions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm so guided, Mr. Speaker. May I proceed
Thank
with
you.
my other question? Mr. Speaker, let's go to line item, Mr. Chair, sorry. Line item 6116. Again, the contracted employees. We note that it was increased to 30, like I said previously. I wonder whether the Honorable Minister could advise us as to the methodology used to procure these services. Was it advertised? Was there internal advertising? Was there an interview panel, etc.? How were these persons employed?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in responding to the honorable member's question, it was an internal process of evaluation to determine the suitability of the persons who were hired.
Honorable Member Ms. Walton Desir.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, I don't know if I'm the only person suffering the same fate, but I would really appreciate if Minister could use his mic a little bit more because he's a bit muffled. I suspect the mask is not helping.
Honorable Minister, you may take off the mask because the rest of the persons around you are masked. So, if it will assist, please.
Mr. Speaker, do you wish that I repeat?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
In responding to the honorable member's question, we use an internal evaluation system to determine the suitability of the persons who were hired.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Walton Desir.
So I would be correct to conclude that there was no external advertising of these positions, etc.
Honorable Minister.
No, Mr. Speaker, we did not go to the market. That was not necessary.
Honorable Member, Ms.
Sir, if
Walton
you will
Desir.
indulge me, one more question under this line item. I wonder whether the minister could guide me as to whether is this the head under which the permanent secretary, for example, is remunerated?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister, the uh, Honorable Member didn't point a specific line item, but if you want to assist her, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Honorable
Yes.
Member, Ms. Walton Desir.
Thank you, sir. So the permanent secretary is remunerated under that 6116. No, I asked a specific question. He responded yes. So I'm seeking clarity.
Honorable Minister.
Uh, the PS came under 6116 February last, 2021. February. Just February, just, yeah, last. Not last year.
Thank you, Minister Chan. Is there any other person within your ministry that is paid on the scale of the permanent secretary?
Could you just
It
repeat
is
that?
still tied to the line item, Mr. Chair. My apologies. It is a follow-on to the question that I asked on the line item.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, no.
Thank you for that.
Honorable Member.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, sorry. I want to draw attention to line item 6265, other transport, travel, and postage, and I wonder whether the minister would be so kind as to give us a breakdown of that sum.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker. The revised budget for 2020, 57,658,000. Revised budget for 2020, 19,447,000. Budget for 2021, 67 million. Variance of 47,553,000. Percentage of 244.53.
Honorable Member.
See, if I were a mean person, I would say to the Honorable Minister, like he never heard the term composition, but I won't do that. What I will say, I will repeat my question. Could the Honorable Minister indicate what is the breakdown of this? What are we using this item for? This line item for, in other words.
Your question is a bit clearer, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable
You
Minister.
needed a justification. I'll respond to that. The increase caters for payments of airfare, shipping, personal and household effects, for postings, repostings, and cross postings of staff.
Thank
That's it,
you.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister. Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I then must ask Mr. Chair if we could draw our attention to 6261, local travel and subsistence. There's a $41 million allocation there. I'm not sure how much local travel and flying around. Like, what does that entail? What are we using that amount for?
Honorable Minister.
Just to be clear, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is requesting the justification.
That is how you term it. I just want to know what we're using it to do.
So you want a description, okay. So major postings to be done in 2021. This includes the replacement of ambassadors, and postings of home-based staff to our missions. Caters also for reposting of staff from missions to head office and cross postings from missions to missions. In addition, there would be administrative visits by head office staff to missions and engagement with the diaspora. Expenses resulting also from official travel, such as cost of transportation, hotel accommodation, meals, excess baggage, are all budgeted under this line item.
Thank you,
Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
Minister. Honorable Member.
Thank you for that explanation, Honorable Minister. I think the last question under this item would be line item 6294. There is an allocation there of about $75 million. I'd be grateful if the Honorable Minister could provide a breakdown of that allocation.
Honorable Minister.
So, Mr. Speaker, the description would be increased caters for transportation of visiting delegations, promotional items for the missions, official visits, purchase of drinking water, and other miscellaneous items.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipon.
Sir, one question. Under 6264, would the Honorable Minister be kind enough to say how many vehicles are in his fleet for this program?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have 21 serviceable vehicles.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 121, Development of Foreign Policy, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated thus forms part of the estimates. If we can turn to page 623, the capital program for program 121.
I will take the question under the other head. Thank you.
One sec, 1 minute, one moment, sorry. Honorable members, I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 121, Development of Foreign Policy, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Ms. Walton Desir.
Just one clarification, please, Mr. Chair, through you. Um, 2407800. Mr. Chair, I'm not sure. Are you getting a feedback? Thank you, sir. Yes, I am saying that I just wanted clarification um, on the item 2407800 land transport. There is an allocation there of about 42 million for purchase of vehicles. When you check the profile, sorry?
Honorable Member, are we in the same place?
Mr. Chair, I think I'm ahead of you. My apologies.
We're at 623, page 623, Program 121. And they have two items on the.
Yes,
That-
sir. I am aware. I'm ahead of you.
You're ahead of me.
Yes.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 121, Development of Foreign Policy, Capital Expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, can we now turn to page 110 and 111? And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 122, Foreign Policy Promotion, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Walton Desir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I want to draw our attention to item 6116, contracted employees. I'm sorry. Yes, 6116, contracted employees. There is a decrease, sir, in the staffing complement from 18 to 14. However, based on the calculations that I made, there is not a concomitant decrease in the amount expended under this head. There is actually an increase. I wonder whether the Honorable Minister could render an explanation as to what occasions this.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that is due to the fact that in the 2020 budget we catered for 3 months. 2021 budget, we're dealing with 12 months. Sorry? Were you not hearing me? Okay. Sorry about that.
Honorable Member, Ms. Walton Desir.
Sir, I'm aware of that, but even when you use that 3-month figure and you do the calculation, it gives you somewhere about 265,884. So I'm saying you have decreased staff, but you have an increased sum allocated. It therefore means that you have less people and you're paying them more. What does that mean? that is what I want the minister to say to us.
Honorable Minister,
Mr. Speaker, that would have been due to the fact that even after recalling some of the ambassadors, we still had to pay station allowance and salaries for up to about 3 months.
thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member,
So, Mr. Speaker, I want to clarify on that same item. This sum envisages an increase in, for example, station allowance for the respective staff covered under the head.
Honorable Minister,
The answer is no, Mr. Speaker.
thank you very much. Honorable Member,
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to belabor the point, so I think what I will ask is whether the Honorable Minister could lay over the details of the contracted staff, their designation, and their emoluments. He doesn't have to provide this for us immediately. I'd be more than happy to receive it at a later date.
thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister, would you lay over?
Mr. Speaker, I will go through item by item. So,
The Minister is prepared to provide the answers right now.
Principal Foreign Service Officer 1, Washington. Principal Foreign Service Officer 1, New York. Registry Supervisor, New York. Confidential Secretary, New York. Foreign Service Officer 3, Ottawa. Principal Foreign Service Officer 1, Brussels. Confidential Secretary, Brussels. Accountant, London. Principal Foreign Service Officer 1, Havana. Principal Foreign Service Officer 1, India. Principal Foreign Service Officer 1, Bovista. Principal Foreign Service Officer 1, Barbados. Deputy Head of Mission, Switzerland. Legal Officer, Switzerland.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member,
Mr. Chair, I did ask for the emoluments. I am more than willing to accept that at a later date if the Honorable Minister would be kind to lay same over. And on the same point and line item, Mr. Chair, the Honorable Minister mentioned a number of posts at the New York office. I wonder whether the Honorable Minister could indicate, particularly the principal consul office that he just mentioned, whether he could indicate the date of that person's employment.
Honorable Minister.
Speaker, I'll deal with the first request. So I'll give you the salaries that match the order that I called previously. 294,585, 294,585, 112,844, 112,844, 151, 231, 294, 585, 183, 728, 139, 647, 294, 585, again 294, 585, yet again 294, 585, once more 294, 585, 606, 520, 488,250, which will give you a grand total of 3.8, sorry, 3,865,159. With regards to the second question, the PR post um, was occupied from effect from October 1st, 2020.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Walton Desir. Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Yes, sir. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, can I ask the Honorable Minister to indicate what is the emolument for the legal officer in Switzerland?
Legal Officer in Switzerland.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that will be 488,250.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipur.
Sir, a follow-up on 6116. The Honorable Minister took it to detail the emoluments, and then he said that it gives a total of 3,865,000 and some dollars. And when you multiply that by 12, sir, which is 12 months, you get somewhere within the vicinity of $46 million. But there is an allocation here of $280 million. So I'm wondering if he was correct, and if not, if he can at least lay over the breakdown, which will be better on his part because he seems to be puzzling.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there's no puzzling in this direction. I was just responding specifically to the request. But I will go through the entire schedule if the Honorable Member would bear with me, because I have the time. I will give you the station allowance, grand total, NIS and the grand total, the domestic allowance and the grand total, gratuity and the grand total, vacation allowance, medical allowance, educational allowance. So let's go.
Sir, I wish to withdraw the
basic
question.
salary.
I withdraw the question, sir.
Honorable Member, the Honorable Minister is speaking. You have to stand on a point of order. You just can't stand up to say you withdraw. Please, you ask the question, the Minister is prepared to answer. Go ahead, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Basic salary was called previously, Mr. Speaker, so I'll move now to the station allowance. Washington, 1,358,500. PR New York, 1,254,000. The Consul General in New York, Registry Supervisor, 376,200. Confidential Secretary at the same post, 386,650. Ottawa, 491,150. Brussels, 1,358,500. Remaining at the same station, 376,200. London, 288,629. Havana, 940,500. India, 1,149,500. Bovista, 752,400. Barbados, 752,400. Switzerland, 1,149,500. Remaining in Switzerland, $355,091. Grand total of $10,989,220. Mr. Speaker, I now move to NIS paid. Washington, 4,200. PR New York 23,520, CG New York 1,693, Stainett New York 9,479, Ottawa 13,776, Brussels 4,200, again at Brussels 2,756, London 11,731, Havana 4,200, India 4,200, Vista 4,200, Barbados 4,200, Switzerland 4,200, Switzerland 4,200, and finally, again in Switzerland, 23,520 for a total of 115,475 NIS grand total. Mr. Speaker, I now move to domestic allowance. Washington, 625,500. PR New York, 625,500. Brussels, 729,750. Havana, 250,200. India, 420,000 even. Provista, 62,550. Barbados, 667,200 for a grand total of 3,380,700, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I now move to gratuity. Washington, 795,380. PR New York, 795,380. CG New York, 304,678. Staying in New York, 304,679. Ottawa, 429,924. Brussels, 795,380. Staying at Brussels, Mr. Speaker, 496,066. London, 188,524. Havana, 795,380. India, 795,380. Vista, 795,380. Barbados, 795,380. Switzerland, 1,637,604. Staying at Switzerland, Mr. Speaker, 1,318,275. Mr. Speaker, that gives us a grand total of 10,247,410. Mr. Speaker, I now move to vacation allowance.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, sir.
Washington.
I believe, sir.
But honorable member, the minister is on the floor, so in order to yield, I have to get on a point of order.
Sir, well, could you please ascertain? Because
Honorable minister, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I now move to vacation allowance. Washington, 3 million even. New York, 2,344,000. New York again, 112,844. New York, 112,844. Ottawa, 159,231. Brussels, 4 million. Staying in Brussels, Mr. Speaker, 183,728. London, 139,647. Havana, Mr. Speaker, 2 million even. India, 3 million even. Bovista, 1 million even. Barbados, 1 million even. Switzerland, 606,520. And finally, Switzerland again, 488,250. Mr. Speaker, that gives us a grand total of 18,147,064. Mr. Speaker, I now move to medical allowance. Washington, 2.5 million. New York, 2 million. Brussels, 2 million. Havana, 1,188,450. India, 2 million even. Bovista, 500,000. Barbados, 1 million even. Switzerland, 1 million even. And finally in Switzerland, 980,784. Mr. Speaker, that gives us a total of 13,169,234. Mr. Speaker, I now move to education allowance. Washington, 2 million. Switzerland, 4 million. For a total of 6 million, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I now move to the totals. Washington, 35,688,800. New York, 31,510,640. CG New York, 6,306,366. Staying in CG New York, 6,525,119. Ottawa, 8,554,239. Brussels, 35,439,800. Staying in Brussels, 7,432,002. We're moving to London, 5,608,255. Mr. Speaker, Havana, 21,857,650. India, 28,214,800. Bovista, 15,660,200. Barbados, 23,416,000. Switzerland, 28,366,764. And finally in Switzerland, Mr. Speaker, 13,189,641. Mr. Speaker, that gives us a grand total of the entire schedule of million 770,000.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, if you wanted to lay over in writing, just say you want to lay over in writing. And
Mr.
honorable
Chair,
member,
sorry,
I'm on
sir.
the floor.
Yes, go ahead.
And while persons are looking at the time, remember I've added 18 minutes on, right? Honorable member, Ms. Walton is here.
Mr. Chair, I wish to express my just dismay.
Don't express
At
your
what-
dismay. Ask a question
Mr.
to a
Chair,
specific.
Mr.
Honorable
Chair.
member, again, the leader of the opposition spoke yesterday early about respecting this house.
Mr.
I have asked you to ask a question. You continue to speak over me.
Mr.
When the speaker speaks, you normally take a seat. You don't want me standing on you. Thank you. Honorable member, Ms. Walton is here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in the interest of time, maturity, and civility, and every such thing,
Thank
I will turn our attention to line item 6133, benefits and allowances. There is an allocation there of 650 million, and I'm wondering whether the honorable minister could indicate or provide us with what this sum entails.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, can you indicate what this sum entails?
Mr. Speaker, the description would refer to an increase that is due to the 2021 allocation that caters to 12 months of expenditures compared to 3 months in 2020.
Honorable member, Ms. Walton is here.
Mr. Speaker, perhaps I remain unclear, so let me rephrase the question. I had asked, what does it entail? What are we using it for? Their benefits and allowances. What are we talking about? Termination benefits, allowances, gratuities. That is the kind of information that I'm seeking on behalf of the people of Guyana from the minister.
Thank you, honorable member. Honorable minister.
Mr. Speaker, I have additional information I can provide the honorable member with. Station allowance, domestic allowance, medical insurance, vacation allowance, and end of contract benefits.
Thank you, honorable minister. Honorable member, Ms. Walton is here.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chair, I note that the minister referenced end of contract benefits. I wonder whether the minister would be so kind as to, and please note my words, lay over the details of the designation and emolument of and other benefits of the person so terminated. I wonder whether you'd be so kind as to lay that over in writing. So
Just for clarity, for my sake,
yes, sir.
there are two issues, honorable member. The honorable member said end of contract, right? And you're asking about termination. Is it synonymous?
Yes, sir. It is
Thank
my
you.
intention that they are.
And you're asking for the honorable minister to lay it over in writing?
Yeah, yes, sir. In the interest of time, because
Thank
we
you
do have
very
a few
much.
more questions to ask.
Honorable member, honorable minister, would you lay over in writing? It's a simple yes or no.
Mr. Speaker, I prefer to
No,
give
the
the-
request, honorable minister, was to lay over in writing.
Mr. Speaker, I'll deliberate orally in front of the people.
The honorable minister, it was a question to lay over in writing. Yes or no?
No, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Honorable member, Ms. Walton is here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
I can't hear the honorable member who's on her feet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I wish to turn our attention because I do not want to be distracted by this sideshow. I wish to turn our attention to the rental of buildings. And I wanted to know whether the Honorable Minister would be so kind as to give us an idea of the buildings that are being rented
Honorable member,
and
just for
for who.
my information, the head, the line item number.
The line item 6241, Mr. Chair.
6241.
Rental of buildings. There is
Thank
an
you.
in excess of 1 billion.
Yes.
Thank you.
Honorable Minister, rental of buildings, 6241.
Mr.
Honorable
Speaker,
Chief Whip and the Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm seeking clarity. Does the honorable member want the breakdown or the total?
Honorable member, the minister is asking if you want the breakdown or the total.
I asked Mr. Chair, the buildings that are being rented, where are these buildings? Where are they located?
Thank you.
And the sum, sir.
And the sum, the rental sum.
Mr. Speaker, we have Washington, seven properties. Barbados, 2.
And she asked, the honorable member asked the sum, the rental sum.
Oh, you want the okay.
Location and the cost of the rentals.
Okay, so I'll go through item by item, Mr. Speaker. Washington, no, it's just and these are annual totals I'll be reading, Mr. Speaker. Washington, 12.1 million, 7.5 million, 11 million, 9.7 million, 6,260,000. Barbados, 10.5 million, and then 6.5 million. And then finally, 9,412,200. Toronto, 22 million, 12 million, 5.6 million, 6.4 million. And 6.5 million. New York, 70 million, 12 million, 12,345,000, 10 million, 8 million. Switzerland, 13,652,469. 12,481,013. 12,703,142. 11,372,728. 12,482,261. Mr. Speaker, I now move to London. 20,880,000. 16,782,000, 10,684,000, 10,359,000. Nikeri, Mr. Speaker, 3,302,640, 2,502,000 even. Beijing, 81,549,000, 8.4 million, 7,980,000, 9,476,000. Brazil, Mr. Speaker, 10,727,000 and 10,027,916, 3,539,928, 3,625,922. Mr. Speaker, I move to Suriname. And this is Paramaribo, Mr. Speaker. 10,008,000, 3,002,400, 2,752,200, 13,660,745. Mr. Speaker, I move to Ottawa. 17,402,007. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Let me go back to Ottawa. 20,494,761, 170,000, 4,347,240, 170,000 even, and 5,508,000. Mr. Speaker, I move to New York. 72,975,000, 19,665,400, 7,506,000, 9,007,200, 938,250. And finally, in New York, Mr. Speaker, 1,459,500. Mr. Speaker, I move to Bovista. 2,920,000. 1,940,000. Havana, 13,761,000, 16,263,000, 6,029,000, 7,006,000, 4,874,000. Brussels, Mr. Speaker, 10,666,116, 6,978,348, 5,707,212, 4,644,060, 6,030,000, 6,030,000, 6,030,304, 44, 48, sorry, 17,326,224. Mr. Speaker, I now move to Kuwait. 1,238,490. India, 6 million even. 2,244,000. 1,768,800. 2,124,000. Caracas, Mr. Speaker, 13,211,000. 12,936,000. 6,055,500. 6,055,500. 6,055,500. Mr. Speaker, I now move to Trinidad and Tobago. 17,514,000. 8,757,000. 6,255,000. 5,504,400 and 5,504,400. Mr. Speaker, I move to South Africa. 33 million, 30 million, 32 million, 47 million, 638,928, and Mr. Speaker, included also would be the estimate for Dubai and Doha for the embassies that we plan to open in 2021. Dubai, 30 million. Doha, 30 million. For a total of 1,045,000,000. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Walton Desir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Minister, thank you so much for the details. It makes me wonder, in relation to the same line item, could the Honorable Minister indicate where, what are the locations of properties that we own outright?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have 3 properties: Washington, London, and Ottawa.
Honorable Member, Ms.
Mr.
Walton
Speaker, I
Desir.
therefore have a follow-up because I believe top on the list of rentals was Washington. So whether the Honorable Minister could be so kind as to state what are we renting and what do we own outright?
Honorable Minister.
So, Mr. Speaker, let me just go that back. We have actually 4 properties. We have 2 in Washington, both of which we own. 1 in London, which is the office, and in Ottawa, the residence. But in Washington, both residence and the office, head of mission.
Mr.
Honorable
Speaker,
member, Ms.
sorry,
Walton,
sir.
please.
The Honorable Minister took quite some time to give us an exhaustive list. And I'm saying that I wish to know because you referenced Washington, but we do own property in Washington. I am therefore asking, what are we renting? Because he went ad nauseum to tell us the list. So this is what I was simply wanting some clarity on, sir.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, for clarity, what I would have read um, on the stations that I refer to where we own property, we also have rental of properties for our staff there. So those were what were mentioned in the exhaustive list that you're referring to.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable member.
Thank you. I had particularly asked about buildings for embassies, etc., not necessarily residences, but that is water under the bridge. Sir, I basically just have one other question under this head, and I noticed that at 6284, there is a designation of other. There's an allocation of 70 million. And I was wondering whether the minister could be so kind as to provide us with a breakdown of what that entails.
Is that a verbal breakdown or a written layover?
Uh, if he wishes to lay it up in writing, sir, we would be grateful, given that we have a few more questions. I'm sure my
Honorable
colleagues do.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I will provide the honorable member with the breakdown. Bank charges, 25 million. Consultancy, 12 million. Upgrade and maintenance to website, 13 million. License fees and other miscellaneous items, 20 million. And that would amount to 70 million in total.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Program 122, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum that forms part of the estimate. Can we now turn to Program 122, Capital, page 623. Honorable members, I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Program 122, Foreign Policy Promotion, capital expenditure, form part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Lizzie Walton.
Thank you, sir. I wish to turn our attention to 1201400 building. It says provision for embassies. There's an allocation there of 407 million. Let me go to the details. It speaks about the completion of the Guyana embassy in Brazil and the provision of windows to Washington. I would be grateful if the Honorable Minister could provide the House with an update as to exactly what is the status of the project as it relates to the building of the embassy in Brazil and the provision of these windows. Is it for one of the properties that we own or one that we are renting?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the allocation of 388 million would 600 would complete the construction of the new embassy, Guyana embassy, and ambassador's residence, and works also will be done on the diplomatic quarters. Secondly, Washington, the installation of new windows and the official residence in Washington, which is owned by the government of Guyana. Um, You'll have rubbers on the windows, which have become really loose and worn, um, wear and tear over an extended period. And that is um, that sums it up because that building was owned since 1966. So it's
Thank you, Honorable
decades
Minister.
of wear and tear.
Honorable Member, Ms. Desir Walton.
Thank you, sir. I only have one follow-up question, and that has to do with whether the Honorable Minister could provide us with an estimated date of completion for the building of the embassy in Bristol.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we expect that work should be completed by April this year.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Desir Walton.
I'm sorry, I did not hear what he said.
April of
April.
this year.
Thank you very much, sir.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Program 122, Foreign Policy Promotion, Capital Expenditure forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, we can now turn to pages 112 and 113. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 123, Development of Foreign Trade Policy Current Expenditure, forms part of the estimates. And I put the question, Honorable Member, Ms. Karen, Dr. Karen Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line item 6116, contracted employees. I notice there's just the same number, but I'm seeing here a whopping almost 5 times, moving from 2 million, the revised 2020 allocation, to 12 million, to almost 13 million. Could you tell us, give us the top 5 persons contracted and why the increase? For one person.
Mr. Speaker, the increase is due to the 2021 budgetary allocation that caters for 12 months versus 3 in 2020. 3 months it was allocated to 2020.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 12. Honorable Member, Ms. Walton Desir, you have the question? No, sorry. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 123, Development of Foreign Trade Policy Current Expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now forms part of the estimates. We can now turn our attention to page 623, Capital. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 123, Development, well, there's zero, sorry, Development of Foreign Trade Policy, Capital Expenditure forms part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 12, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Program 123, Development of Foreign Trade Policy, Capital Expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, according to my clock, it's 6:46.18, and we have completed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Let me thank the Honorable Minister and his staff for taking us through these estimates. Thank you very, very much. I now call on the Honorable Minister of the Public Service, Honorable Minister and her staff. One hour has been allocated to this head. We don't have any savings in time from the previous heads, so we will have to ask our questions and stick to the schedule of 1 hour allocated for this particular head. We are going to start the clock rolling at 6:40 at 6:48. Honorable members, let us turn to pages 158 and 159. And honorable members, I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 141, Policy Development and Administration, current expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Sarabo Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Administrative, line item 6111. Mr. Chair, volume 2, actually. I'm going to bring it back to the 6111. Volume 2 of the estimate states that one of the strategies of PSM is to update the Public Service Commission rules. So my first question is that can the Honorable Minister indicate whether it is the intention of PSM to add the word obstructionist to the rules to ensure that the actions of the government conform with the PSC rules when dismissing staff?
Honorable Member, first, please tell me what the line item is.
6111, administrative.
61111. Honorable Minister, there's an issue with respect to policy with respect to 611.
Mr. Speaker, 6111, like that line item specifically deals with budget estimates in terms of figures and sums allocated to persons who are employed in that line item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Member, Ms. Sarabo Ali.
Mr. Chair, as far as I can read, I think I can. It says policy development and administration, and so I'm of the view that any policy issues will be dealt with in this particular area, this page. So I'm not sure at what stage I'll be able to ask policy questions if not here. But we will move forward. We're going on to still line item 6111. Can the Honorable Minister state what the government's policy is on continuing the process of transitioning contracted employees to the fixed establishment?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the government's policy is to revert to the pre-2015, which is to implement its program, and if that is by contracted employees or by fixed establishment, that is how the government is going to do it.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Sarabo Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'm not sure if we got clarity there. Is it that, can the Honorable Minister state what was the pre-2015 policy that she's going back to?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that question was asked and it was answered, and I believe it was sufficiently answered.
Honorable Minister, thank you very much. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line item 6111 again. Can the Honorable Minister state whether the 37 community health workers that were terminated from RDC Region 4 will be paid their salaries for January and February
Honorable Member
2021?
Ms. Halley, could you stick to 6111? I only see.
That is where.
Honorable Member Ms. Halley, I'm speaking, and I
Sure.
didn't complete.
No problem.
I saw 3 persons on the establishment of that. I don't know where the 27 come from, so I wouldn't put that question to the minister.
Mr. Chair, just for clarity as well, the Public Service Ministry deals with the entire public service. And so even though there are persons there that are on staff of the public service, the policy, the development and administration of the Public Service Ministry deals with the entire public service.
I am very confident that the issue you raise
Yes, sir.
is going to be captured in a line item subsequently.
Okay,
But
sir.
for this particular line item, it deals with 3 persons.
That
so-
will be administrating the policy development of the entire.
3 persons, Honorable Member. Thank you.
Okay, sir. I will move on to line item 6113.
6113.
Can the Honorable Minister state the designation of the 3 technical staff under this line item?
Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Honorable Member, we have 1 reporter, 1 assistant accountant, and 1 coordinator.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the Honorable Minister state what is the job description of the coordinator on this line item?
Honorable Minister.
That was a study coordinator. Mr. Speaker, I believe the honorable member would have been okay with this because this is a person that was employed during that time. Study coordinator.
Honorable Member Ms. Halley, Sarabo Halley.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure she answered the question. The Honorable Minister answered the question and I didn't hear. But I will move on. But the person or the staff, the coordinator, would the Honorable Minister say exactly what the job is of the coordinator in this particular?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am advised that the study coordinator would have also that person held 2 portfolios, study coordinator and coordinator of the COI. That's what that was under the previous act.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Mr. Chair, is it that I did not hear her clearly? Did she say what the job description of the coordinator is? I did not hear it. I don't know if I'm missing, if I was just not hearing properly.
Honorable members, please allow some amount of silence so that the Honorable Member Ms. Halley can hear the answers which she has asked questions to. Honorable Minister, could you please repeat for us?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The study coordinator would have been a study coordinator and a coordinator within the COI that was in the previous administration. Mr. Speaker, The honorable member ought to have known what the description of that person was since it was in the employ of the previous administration.
But Honorable Minister, she has a right to ask the duties of the coordinator. Whether she was there before or not, she has a right to ask. Please, could you provide any further amplification?
Guided.
Go ahead, Honorable Minister. Honorable Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will move on. Can the Honorable Minister please give us a breakdown of 6284, line item 6284?
Honorable Minister.
Very well, Mr. Speaker. Line item 6284 under this program caters for payment of the networks cable for the minister, the PS, purchase of curtains, purchase of drinking water, laundering of tablecloths, curtains for 3 locations, purchase of paintings and picture frames, payment for removal of these at the Bertram Collins College, purchase of shirts and t-shirts for staff members, purchase of kitchen utensils for the minister. Mr. Speaker, that is what the line item 6284 other caters for.
Honorable Minister, noting that your staff is well covered in terms of the mask, if you want to resort to removing your mask for better clarity, I would appreciate. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'll go to 6131 and ask the question that I attempted to ask before, which is whether or not the Honorable Minister will be able to say whether the 37 community health workers that were terminated from RDC Region 4 will be paid their salaries for January.
Honorable Member, please. You know, I think I heard the word res judicata a lot last year. So I don't see 27 listed, Honorable Member, in the schedule. So you want to rephrase that for me, please?
Line item 6116. Can the Honorable Minister state the designation of the 5 highest paid officers under this line item?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what line item may I clarify?
6116.
This line item caters for 19 employees, the advisor to the minister, 3 cleaners, 3 driver mechanics, 1 laborer, 1 confidential secretary, 1 driver, 1 administrative assistant, 1 administrative officer, 1 chief accountant, another confidential secretary to the DPS, heavy duty vehicle driver, personal assistant to the minister, deputy permanent secretary, driver dispatcher. That's it, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did ask for the 5 highest and not all 19, but we'll move on. The Honorable Minister stated that there's an advisor to the minister that is being paid under this line item. Can the Honorable Minister state the emoluments, benefits, and allowances that this advisor is being paid?
Honorable Minister.
Advisor to the minister is paid a salary of $550,000.
Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry. Can the line item 6294, which has $3,755,000, can the Honorable Minister just break down for us what is under this line item?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this line item caters for payment of carpeting, washing of buildings of the Ministry of Public Service Head Office, Training Division, and Staff College, and purchase of decorations.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley. Honorable members, this is a good time to put the question that the sum stated for Agency 40, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 141, Policy Development and Administration, current expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. We can move to page 632. I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 141, Policy Development Administration, capital expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Honorable members, I put the question that the sum state. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 2506200 furniture and equipment. Can the Honorable Minister state for what area this the purchase of furniture and equipment would be for? Which office?
Honorable Minister.
Clarifying the line item, please, Mr. Speaker.
2506200 furniture and equipment.
This is 3 laptops, 2 desktop computers, 1 video conferencing equipment, 1 printer, 1 set of installation of cubicles, 2 black waiting chairs, 2 sets of black leather couch, 2 corporate routers, 4 filing cabinets, 1 bookshelf, 1 mini refrigerator, and 3 laptop bags.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 141, Policy Development and Administration, capital expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. Can we turn to page 160 and 161? If we are there, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 142, Human Resource Development, current expenditure forms part of the estimates. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Line item 6112. The total amount I see here, Mr. Chair, is 9,523,000. Can the Honorable Minister give us the breakdown of the designation of the 5 senior technical officers under this line item?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have under this line item a counselor, senior student affairs officer, training officer 2, and a student affairs officer.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line item 6116, contracted employees. I see here 81,812,000. Can the Honorable Minister explain the reduction of staff from 2020 being 23 to 16 in 2021?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, This reduction was due to non-renewal of contract for two study coordinators and one training manager. Also, one senior director, study coordinator, administrative assistant, and a resignation of one study coordinator attached to the Collins College.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move on to line item 6302, training. The budget has here $2,665,000,000. Can the Honorable Minister state what plans the PSM have for the space that was being utilized by the Bertram Collins College of the Public Service?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'll ask that the Honorable Member kindly assist me with repeating her question.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Ms. Halley. Please repeat.
Can the Honorable Minister state what plans Public Service Ministry has for the space that was being utilized by the Bertram Collins College of the Public Service?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am happy to inform the Honorable Member that that location is now being used to house the 20,000 online scholarships, the initiative of which will commence shortly in 2020.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Honorable.
Clarity, please, on the same question. The Honorable Minister said that the space would be utilized for online scholarships. And if
No, she says to house the secretariat that will administer that program.
But she did not say, sir, humbly, she did not say that, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair. She just said to house 20,000 online scholarships. I was just
I heard
trying to get clarity on that particular.
Honorable Minister, can you provide some clarity?
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for your assistance, but I will say what the fact is. It is the secretariat it will be housing the secretariat that will be driving the 20,000 online scholarships.
And I will ask the clerk to just go back to verbatim for that particular period. Least I didn't hear properly. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Line item 6302, same line item, sir. The Honorable Minister stated.
Go ahead, Honorable Member.
Sorry, the Honorable Minister stated in her budget speech that the 4,500 scholarships will be given out this year. We're still on training. Can the Honorable Minister indicate whether the areas of studies and the number of persons to study each area was already determined?
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The red button. One more time. Just press the green button one more time. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, there are 4,500 scholarships to be offered to all Guyanese, the general public, the disciplinary service, the public service, and two other categories. The commencement of which will see 4,500 scholarships being granted will be in various areas that are of necessity nationally, not only in the public service, but nationally. And also, please, sir, that those areas are still being selected, but we do have in the diploma, in the degree, in nursing, in different areas that will heavily contribute to Guyana human resource.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I heard the Honorable Minister say that the scholarships would be nationally and not just for, I'm guessing, persons in the public service. Can the Honorable Minister say whether or not, or how it is they were able to determine the necessities or the needs of the country when determining where these particular programs that will be
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there is an ongoing process of a needs assessment survey being conducted in all agencies, not only in the public sector, but in the country. And based on that, the programs will be selected.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the Honorable Minister state who's carrying out this particular data collection to determine the needs of our country?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am again happy to inform the honorable member that the very able government of Guyana is carrying out that duty.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, as far as I'm aware, the government is not a person. And so if I could get some clarity as to if there's a particular agency or particular persons or particular person with this particular designation that will be assigned to ensuring that the needs of the country are being met with the scholarships that are going to be given out.
Honorable Minister.
Again, Mr. Speaker, the very able Minister of Public Service, in collaboration with all of her colleagues in the central government, along with technical teams from each ministry, will be carrying out that assessment.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the Honorable Minister state how long this process will take, if this process has started, ended, what is the timeline?
Honorable Minister.
It is ongoing, please, sir, and it will come to a completion very shortly to enable the rolling out of the 20,000 online schools.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Mr. Chair, I was also informed by the Honorable Minister that these scholarships would be for everyone. And based on what she said, I interpreted it to mean that the persons who would be getting these scholarships would not necessarily have to work in the public service once they're completed. Am I accurate in that interpretation of what she said?
The Honorable Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, I hope we are still on the very same line item of 6302.
Yes, we are.
Mr. Speaker, the scholarships will be given nationally, but it is also to enable employment in the public sector, and the government is very well aware that there are so many youths and so many persons unemployed, and in an effort to assist all of those persons and keep the government's promise, the government is providing this higher level of education to the nation.
Thank you. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we say on the same line item, the minister indicated that there may be some percentage of the...
Could we now start using Comrade Minister or Honorable?
What? Sorry, my
The salutation.
Sure. Honorable Member? Okay. Honorable Minister, no, sure, Mr. Chair. The Honorable Member stated that, if I understood her correctly, that some percentage of these scholarships will be for the public service and some would be not for the public service. I just want to get clarity as to what percentage of the 20,000, or even if you break it down to this year, of the 4,500 will be going to the public service and what percentage would be just for national.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there will be scholarships granted to the entire country in different categories, but a fair percentage will be granted to every category.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for further, we say on this line item, sir, can the Honorable Minister indicate whether or not those persons who will be receiving these 4,500 scholarships, well, they will be signing a contract with the government of Guyana?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this very same protocol and procedure operates with the 20,000 online scholarship as is every other fully funded government scholarship and scholarship awarded by donor countries. So yes, a contract will be signed.
Thank you, Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the current contract that is signed by persons who are getting scholarships says basically that the person has to serve the government for a period of years, depending on the cause. And so I'm trying to get clarity as to whether all 4,500 persons who will be getting scholarships will have to work in the public service once they've completed.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, again, I am happy to inform the public and the Honorable Minister that that very contract is under review at the moment and being revised to not be harsh on the recipient and to be able to, in a way, assist the recipient of the scholarship. So the existing contract will not be used anymore.
Thank you. Honorable Member, Ms. Han.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, if I understand the Honourable Minister correctly and accurately, that means that at this point, we're not sure whether persons who are getting the scholarship, whether they will have to actually work with the government or not upon receipt of that scholarship, as the contract currently is in review.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not certain whether I can cure the comprehension issues of the honorable member, but this I will try, that scholarships being granted to the nation will support the public sector, and where it cannot support the public sector, it will support the private sector, but Guyana will gain fully from it.
Honorable Member, Ms. Hadi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Guyanese always, anyway. The bottom line is, sir, that there may be two different contracts being signed by persons who are getting that 4,500, one of the 4,500 scholarships, based on whether or not there is a need within the public sector or if there's no need within the public sector for that. So I'm just trying to get some clarity on that one. I don't know if the minister would like to answer.
Honorable Minister, some clarity on that one?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not certain whether that question impacts on the estimate that we're dealing with in the line item 6302 any longer. But if I am to provide any clarity to the honorable member, I have said prior to this that we are going to revise a contract where Guyana is going to be the beneficiary of the scholarship.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Hali.
Thank you, Mrs. Chair. I think this might be the final question on this, depending on the answer. Can the Honorable Minister state what systems will be put in place to ensure that these 4,500 scholarships are given out equitably?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the government of Guyana has committed to transparency and accountability, and unlike the last 5 years where there was no selection committee for training for scholarships, this government has implemented a selection committee that will grade every person and interview every person so that it will be equitable across the regions, across the ethnicity, and we are keeping our promise to the country.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Hali.
Mr. Chair, I crave your indulgence. How does one go ahead when someone you hearing words that are not true, but how do you respond to such in this particular environment of being in the committee?
So you're asking the chair to give you an answer?
Yes, I really, because I'm not sure how you deal with untruth at this level. So if you can kindly guide me as to that.
I would suggest that we move on to the next question.
All right, sir.
Honorable members, I think...
Mr. Speaker,
I didn't put the question, Honorable Minister.
I beg your pardon.
I didn't put a question.
No, Mr. Speaker, I am respectfully seeking your guidance at this point. It is not to raise a question, seeking guidance. Mr. Speaker, I wish to retract because I am at this forum and speaking only the truth.
Thank you very much,
Honorable
Honorable
Member will retract.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, this is a good time to put a question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 142, Human Resource Development, current expenditure forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. We can move to page 632. Capital expenditure. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 142, Human Resource Development, capital expenditure forms part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can line 1207300 buildings? Can the Honorable Minister state what building is being rehabilitated under this line item?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The building that will be rehabilitated is at the training division located at Vicinton Road, and that will be for a smart classroom in keeping with the COVID environment and moving online. And that is for training within the public service, please, Mr. Speaker, and also with our promise to include the disabled community. We are constructing a ramp for disabled persons at the training division that will enable persons who are in the employ of the public sector to be able to gain from those programs that are being trained.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 142, Human Resource Development, capital expenditure forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. We can turn to pages 162. Sorry, page 162, not pages. That would be 162. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 143, Human Resource Management, current expenditure, forms part of the question. Sorry, forms part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Ms. Hannah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we're dealing with line item 6111, 14,274,000. And Mr. Chair, the question that I have comes from actually the volume 2 in relation to that same line item, but volume 2, which gave certain indicators for the human resource management. And in that particular volume, it stated that the proportion of advertised vacancies that were filled in 2020 was 874. And the target for 2021 is 250. So my question to the Honorable Minister is whether or not the public service, why this big reduction in the amount of persons, vacancies to be filled in the public service during this year?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I am advised that no circular was issued since 2019. And as a matter of fact, as the staff is in the Human Resource Management or Personnel Department, those very same staff are there, except for now a chief personnel officer added.
Thank you. Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Mr. Chair, just to follow up on that question, as far as I am aware, the vacancies filled by the public service is not done in the human resource at the Public Service Ministry, but at the Public Service Commission. So just some more clarity as to why this reduction in the vacancies to be filled this year.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, here I would have to respectfully disagree with the Honorable Member, because the Ministry of Public Service has the remit of also employing under contract, which has absolutely nothing to do with the Public Service Commission. And if the ministry so wishes, as the government is reverting back to the pre-2015 position, the ministry can employ within its personnel department contracted employees.
Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Mr. Chair, is it that the Honourable Minister is saying that there's no role for the Public Service Commission in the post-2020 public service?
Mr. Speaker, that is absolutely not what I'm saying. The Public Service Commission is responsible for putting persons or choosing the persons who have to go in a certain post on a fixed establishment. There is a difference between the contract and fixed establishment. But what I am respectfully saying, Mr. Speaker, is that contracted employees as opposed to fixed establishment, which the PSC deals with, is under the remit of the Ministry of Public Service.
Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, is it that the Honourable Minister is stating to us that the 250 target for 2021 is just for contracted employees throughout the public service and not to fill the vacancies of persons that would most likely go on the establishment?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the vacancies that exist on the pensionable in pensionable posts have been there for a very long time. And the government, the PPPC government, they've only been in office for about 7 months. So I would respectfully say this to the honorable member, that vacancies will be filled, whether it's by fixed establishment or whether it's by contract, as the government sees it necessary to carry on the efficiency of functioning on a daily basis.
Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Mr. Chair, yes, clarity being sought. In 2020, we saw that 874 vacancies were filled. Is the Honourable Minister saying that those vacancies were filled just by contract, or were they mixed between contract and persons going on the establishment?
This is in 2020.
So, yeah, because I'm trying to understand the reduction that happened in 2021. Why is their target so low for 2021? The Honourable Minister is saying to us that the target is low because they have...
I will put the question to the Minister. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my position is not that the target is low, but that fixed as the... Mr. Speaker, I don't think that I can twist this or turn this any other way to make the honorable member understand that the government and the Ministry of Public Service will employ by contract or by fixed establishment. So there may be a higher target in 2021, in 2022, in 2023, in 2024, and for the next 5 years.
Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So basically, the 250 target for 2021, even though it's substantially lower than what was filled in 2020, is what is the aim of the government for 2021 in terms of employment of public servants.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, next budget, when we come back, our target will be what we have filled, Mr. Speaker. And that will be seen, it will be seen by the entire country. So I ask the honorable member to exercise some patience. Hold on, we will fill those dates.
Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, can the Honourable Minister state what levels are they hiring for on these contracts that are 250?
Honorable Minister.
What levels are the contracts going to be?
Mr. Speaker, vacancies are filled based on the needs of the public service. And, Mr. Speaker, some time ago in Parliament, I was in a written form asked a certain question as it relates to all contracted employees, and I would have laid over to the honourable member persons employed in the not only the Ministry of Public Service but the wider Guyana.
Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I now put the question. that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 143, Human Resource Development, current expenditure forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now forms part of the estimates. Honorable members, we can turn to page 632 again. Program 143, Capital. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 143, Human Resource Development, Human Resource Management, Capital Expenditure, forms part of the estimates. And I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 14, Ministry of the Public Service, Program 143, Human Resource Development, Capital Expenditure, forms part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The sum stated now forms part of the estimates. On behalf of the National Assembly, we want to thank the Minister and her staff for taking us through this agency's estimates of expenditure. Thank you, Honorable Minister and staff.
Thank you, Mrs.
Honorable members, we've done very well today, the first day of the estimates. The Assembly will now resume. Honorable members, this concludes our business for today. Honorable Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to adjourn the sitting for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to continue the examination of the estimate.
Honorable members, the Assembly is now adjourned to tomorrow at 10 a.m. to continue the consideration of the estimates.